Before we crack open tonight's cursed can of content, I just want to say a big thank you to all our subscribers, and an extra sinister shout out to the loyal members of the Sinister Elite. You legends help keep the darkness alive. If you're enjoying the stories and want to take it a step further, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and consider joining the Sinister Elite by clicking that join button below. Members get access to creepy custom emojis and exclusive Sinister Elite badges that level up the longer you survive with us. It's like loyalty, but spookier. All right, lights off, headphones in, and let's summon something we'll all regret. I took the job because it paid $21 an hour and had free coffee. That's it. I wasn't looking for meaning or a career. I just needed money for rent and my custom vape rig. The place is called Paws and Claws Megamart, and it sits right off the highway, glowing like a Vegas strip club for cat ladies. Massive fish tanks, hamster roller coasters, a grooming station that smells like lavender and crushed dreams. I work overnights, when the store is closed to customers. My job is to feed the animals, clean the poop, and not die of boredom, or so I thought. On my first night, the manager, a sun-damaged woman named Darla, handed me a laminated rule sheet. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Don't skip any. Not one." I thought she was being dramatic. She wasn't. Night shift rules at Paws and Claws. Megamart. Feed the animals in this order: rodents, birds, reptiles, fish, then dogs. Never switch the order. Do not open the door labeled Pet Adoption, Room B. There is no Room B. If you hear meowing and all the cats are asleep, leave the room immediately. The tarantula enclosure in aisle 9 is always empty. Still, feed it crickets. The parrot named Captain Pickles knows things he shouldn't. If he asks about your childhood, don't answer. If a dog begins to speak perfect English, do not respond. Notify Darla. If Darla isn't here, just run. I laughed out loud after reading it. "This is gold," I said. "Y'all running a prank YouTube channel or something?" Darla didn't laugh. She handed me a flashlight and a walkie. "Try to stay sane," she muttered, lighting a menthol on the way out. "And don't forget the crickets." At first, things were chill. I fed the guinea pigs. One of them looked like it had a little toupee, and the birds chirped like they'd snorted Red Bull. Then I got to the tarantula enclosure. It was just an empty terrarium. No spider. Just a cave, a fake plant, and a log. Still, I sprinkled some crickets in like I was seasoning a salad. As I turned to leave, I swear I heard crunching. I froze. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I looked back. Still empty. The log had moved half an inch. I told myself it was nothing. Kept moving. Next came the parrots. Captain Pickles looked at me from his perch like he was disappointed in my life choices. "Feed her, boy," he said in a gruff pirate voice. "Did your dad ever come back from the liquor store?" I dropped the seed scoop. "What the hell did you just say?" He blinked. "Shame about the fire," he added, casually grooming a wing. "There wasn't a fire," I said, more to myself than him. He looked me dead in the eye. "Not yet." I backed away slowly. Then the lights flickered, and a deep, slow growl echoed from the back kennels. I remembered the rules. Dogs last, and no English-speaking canines. I wasn't about to test that tonight. As I mopped the hamster aisle, I noticed something weird. One of the wheels was spinning, fast, but the cage was empty. Then the air grew cold, the kind of cold that hugs your spine like a clingy ex. And from behind me, in a high-pitched, breathy whisper, I heard, "Room B is open." I spun around. Nothing, except the faint sound of a door creaking open near the back hallway. The one labeled Pet Adoption, Room B. I didn't move. I just stood there, clutching my mop like a holy relic. And then from the shadows of that hallway, something crawled out. It looked like a mix between a ferret and a centipede, but with a baby doll head and glowing green eyes. It hissed. Then it scuttled back into the dark, dragging the word nope out of my soul with it. I'm only halfway through my first night, and I already want to quit. But I need the money, and I'm starting to think those rules might be the only thing keeping me alive. I considered hiding in the break room until sunrise, but unfortunately, that's where the coffee machine lives, and that thing hums like it's running ancient black magic. Also, it growled at me once. Probably just the espresso pump. Probably. So instead, I grabbed the mop bucket and decided to remop the already mopped floor. Not out of cleanliness, just raw panic. At 2:03 a.m., I heard the meowing. It was soft, slow, almost sing-song. I poked my head into the cat section and saw all 15 cats curled up, sleeping peacefully under the dim lights. Still, the meowing continued. Rule number 3 came back like a slap to the face. If you hear meowing and all the cats are asleep, leave the room immediately. I dipped. Didn't even pretend to check it out. Just wheeled my bucket straight past the bird aisle like I was speedrunning the Home Depot cleaning challenge. Then Captain Pickles piped up again. "Oh, he's gonna get you, feeder boy." I flipped him off. Big mistake. He laughed. And then the fire alarm in the fish section randomly went off. But there was no smoke. Only water, pouring from the ceiling like it was raining indoors. I ran over, slipping on a puddle and slamming into a shelf of plastic castles and fake coral. All the fish tanks were shaking. One of the bettas was full-on vibrating, its eyes glowing faint blue like it just leveled up in an anime. I wiped water from my eyes and saw something that didn't make sense. There was a man in the tank, no joke. He was just in there, wearing a soaked business suit, floating face down like a Sims glitch. Except he was grinning, mouth open, eyes wide. And then, poof, he vanished. Just like that. Tank was back to normal. Fish swimming, water calm. I turned around to find Darla standing there, smoking again. "Fish ghosts?" I asked, completely deadpan. She took a drag. "Yeah, sometimes. They show up when it's storming out, or someone feeds the koi garlic flakes. Who would do that? Room B." She didn't explain further. After that, I finally got to the dogs. The last stop. The kennel hallway smelled like damp fur and beef jerky. All the pups looked up as I walked in. Mostly pit mixes, a few labs, and one ancient-looking chihuahua that stared at me like I owed it money. I started pouring kibble into bowls, humming to myself like that'd keep me sane. That's when I heard it. A soft voice, polite, clear. "Thank you." I froze. One of the dogs, a Dalmatian, was sitting up, wagging its tail. It cocked its head and added, "You're doing great." "Really?" I looked down at my walkie and whispered, "Darla, we have an issue." No answer. The Dalmatian blinked. "You should get out of here." I backed away slowly. It didn't follow me, but it stared, like it was watching a car crash in slow motion. As I reached the hallway, the lights cut out. Full blackout. Except there was a faint red glow coming from room B. I heard a wet dragging noise and a whisper, "Feed me." I sprinted back to the tarantula cage. Crickets. I needed more crickets. Tossed in a double serving. The sound stopped. Somewhere in the shadows, I swear something chuckled. When Darla finally came in at 5 a.m., I looked like I'd been tasered and dropped in a fish tank. "You made it," she said. "Good. Most don't." I tried to ask her about room B, about the ghost fish, about the parrot's weird prophecy, but all she said was, "You're doing great, really." Same words the Dalmatian used. She patted me on the shoulder and walked off. And that's when I noticed her handprint was wet, but she wasn't wet. Not even close. I got off shift and drove straight home, but I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that Dalmatian's face. Calm, smiling, too human. It wasn't begging or barking. It was warning me. And the worst part? My apartment smelled like wet dog. I don't even own a dog. When I got back to the store that night, Darla wasn't there. Just a sticky note on the manager's desk. Power's been flickering. Don't go in room B. Feed the void spider twice tonight. Thanks. She added a smiley face like she was texting her weed dealer. I hate her. I followed the routine. Rodents, birds, reptiles, fish. Everything was chill until the tropical frog tank started fogging up from the inside, like someone was breathing on the glass. A message appeared. Still hungry. I wiped it. It smeared like blood. I didn't even question it. Just whispered, "Same," and kept walking. Captain Pickles was weirdly quiet tonight. Just watched me with one eye closed, like a pirate wink. I gave him a sunflower seed and moved on. No trauma, no threats, no psychological warfare. Honestly, kind of a relief. Then I noticed something new. The lights above room B were on, and the door was cracked open. It was never open. My chest got tight. I could hear something breathing inside, slow and wet like someone snoring underwater. I radioed Darla. Room B's open. Static. Then, "You weren't supposed to see that." Click. Screw it. I grabbed a flashlight and stepped toward the door. The moment I touched it, every single light in the store shut off. The flashlight flickered, then died. That's when I saw the eyes. Dozens of them. Glowing in the dark, bobbing low to the floor, blinking out of sync like corrupted Christmas lights. They were watching me. I felt it in my spine. The door opened wider on its own, and something tall stepped forward, its body draped in pet store uniforms like it had stitched them together. Its arms were too long. Its neck twisted, and I heard bones crack like twigs under snow. It leaned down, and a mouth opened, not sideways like a person's, but vertical, like a Venus flytrap, lined with teeth. Then it whispered, "New feeder." I ran. No hesitation. Back through the aisles. Past the tarantulas. I dumped a whole bucket of crickets into the tank without slowing down. I could hear something behind me skittering on the walls. I ducked into the break room. The coffee machine was gone. In its place, a note taped to the wall. There was never a break room. My brain started glitching. My name tag was upside down. My shoes were wet, even though I hadn't stepped in water. I looked in the mirror behind the sink, and I wasn't there. When the lights came back, I was curled in a ball next to the hamster section, clutching a bag of pellets like a baby blanket. Darla was back. She crouched next to me and offered a smoke. "You peeked, huh?" I nodded. "You hear it call you feeder?" I nodded again. She patted my head like I was a cat. "It likes you." "That's bad, right?" She didn't answer. She just lit her menthol and said, "You'll want to start leaving out a second scoop of crickets every night from now on. And maybe bring a dog toy for the one that talks." I brought a chew toy like Darla suggested. It was one of those squeaky rubber steaks, the kind that looks like cartoon meat from a 1950s diner ad. I don't know why I picked it. Maybe I thought the creepier the situation, the funnier the toy needed to be. Or maybe I was losing my grip on reality one Scooby snack at a time. I tossed it into the Dalmatian's kennel. He didn't even sniff it. Just looked at me and said, "Thank you, feeder." "I've been waiting." That voice again. Deep, calm, like a philosophy professor on a Netflix true crime doc. I cleared my throat. "You got a name?" He paused, tilted his head. "No one's ever asked that." "Well, what do you want to be called?" He blinked slowly. "Eugene." I nodded. "All right, Eugene it is." That's when every other dog stopped barking. Even the Chihuahua shut up. They turned and looked at Eugene like he just dropped the dog version of the Necronomicon. Eugene stood up, his back legs straightened. Too straight. Like a man in a dog suit stretching after a long shift. "You've given me identity," he said. "And names have power." Then he licked his paw like nothing happened. I backed out of the kennel hallway so fast I tripped over a mop bucket and smacked my elbow on the parakeet display. Captain Pickles cackled from his perch. "Oh, he named the speaker dog. That's a spicy meatball." That night, Room B didn't open, but the lights flickered in a rhythm, like Morse code. One of the hamsters stood upright and just stared at the ceiling, swaying side to side. I tried to ignore it. Made it to aisle 9, where I was now doing double cricket duty for the void spider. When I opened the container, all the crickets were already gone. No holes, no cracks. Just empty. And the tarantula enclosure was bubbling, like something inside was breathing hard through boiling tar. I leaned closer, and in the reflection of the glass, I saw a figure behind me. Not Darla. It was me. Except, my reflection didn't move when I did. It just smiled. Then the glass shattered, and the light snapped back on like nothing happened. The enclosure? Still sealed. I looked around. Crickets. Gone. Floor. Clean. Me. Traumatized. I radioed Darla again. "Hey, do we have mirrors in the store?" "Nope." "Ever had one appear during a spider feeding?" "Then it's watching you." I didn't like that answer. Later, while restocking the fish flakes, I heard the soft sound of tapping glass. I turned. Every single fish was at the front of their tanks, staring at me, and one of them, a neon tetra with half a tail, opened its mouth and whispered, "Eugene remembers the fire." I dropped the flakes. "What fire?" The fish didn't respond. It just sank to the bottom and played dead. At the end of the shift, Darla popped in like nothing was wrong, sipping a Diet Dr. Pepper and chewing on a Slim Jim. I told her everything. The name, the fish, the bubbling tarantula tank, the mirror me. She just nodded. Then she looked at me and said, "You've officially bonded with Eugene. That means he's going to protect you now." Probably. She shrugged. "Depends on what opens next." "Room B?" "No," she said. Then she pointed up toward the ceiling. "There's a hatch up there we don't talk about." I didn't even want to look up, but once Darla pointed to the hatch, it was like my neck had a mind of its own. My head tilted back, and sure enough, there it was. A metal square in the ceiling, covered in scratch marks and old red handprints that looked way too small to be human. "What's up there?" I asked. Darla didn't blink. "Something old, something territorial. The corporate name for it is Unit 7A. I call it Brenda. Brenda, the apex predator of haunted ceiling creatures. Of course her name is Brenda. She doesn't come down unless you screw up bad," Darla said, chomping her Slim Jim. "Or unless you name the dogs." That's when the lights flickered again, and the PA system crackled to life. Static hissed through the speakers, followed by a sound I can only describe as a child humming through a fan. Then, a robotic voice, warped and stuttering, said, "Feeder identified, requesting elevation." I spun around. Eugene was at the kennel door. "She knows," he said. "Brenda wants the name back." "What name?" "Mine." The tarantula tank shattered. A wave of black smoke poured out like a sandstorm in reverse. It crawled along the floor, twisting into tiny paws, faces, meows, all whispering in reverse. I ran, straight into the break room, which was now a fleshy tunnel. The walls pulsed, a heartbeat thudded through the floor. The vending machine blinked a message on its screen. "Go back." Too late. Behind me, the ceiling creaked and Brenda dropped down. She was thin, with spider legs for arms and a cash register for a face. Every time she clicked, the drawer popped open and let out a childlike giggle. I screamed. Eugene barreled down the hallway and launched himself at her, teeth first. "You gave me a name," he barked midair. He bit her cash register face clean off. Sparks flew. The store shook. The aisle signs flipped upside down. Captain Pickles shouted, "Chaos reigns," and dive-bombed a parrot feeder. Darla ran in holding a mop like a baseball bat. She shouted, "Get the damn collar." What collar? The one in room B. I sprinted. The door was open. Room B wasn't a room at all, it was a cave, pulsing with red light. A single floating dog collar hovered in the center, inscribed with the name, Eugene. I grabbed it. Instantly, I was somewhere else. Floating. Weightless. Every animal in the store whispered, "Feed her, feed her, feed her." Then boom! I was back. I ran out, slapped the collar onto Eugene's neck mid-fight. He glowed, like full-on Super Saiyan dog mode. He howled and Brenda exploded into black confetti. Everything went silent. The lights flicked. Back to normal. Darla handed me a cup of coffee. Black. No sugar. "Congrats," she said. "You're part of the store now." "What does that mean?" She pointed to the employee photo wall. There I was. Grainy photo. Dead eyes. Already framed. I tried to quit the next day. Corporate sent back a letter. "We do not recognize your existence. Enjoy your next shift, feeder." And that was it. I still clock in every night. I still bring crickets. I still call the talking dog Eugene. And I never look up at the ceiling, not even when it calls my name.